Welcome back to the shop again. Good to see you. In this episode we'll continue making the control box for this little Sile CNC. I made a drawer. I'll show you that after the titles. Right, here's the drawer. I haven't put a handle on it yet because I can't find one. Apart from that, it's all right. So it's a heavy duty drawer, can cope with, I don't know, 50, 60 kilos, which is good because there's quite a bit of weight in it already. So parallels, tools, tailstock for the fourth axis, a little bit of tape because I use the tape method for holding stuff on. There's the pallet I use in my little vise, and clearly the tools and the tool holders. So that is ideal. It fits in there a treat. Out of the way. Off camera, I welded up a stand, so the cabinet bolts to the front of this. I'll show you that in a moment. But ultimately, it'd be nice to have this control cabinet so it could swing around and you could move it. But as this is really just a development piece, I thought I'll just bolt it to the desk because I don't need it to move. And to some extent, it makes it easier to, if you're soldering bits and pieces inside and rewiring it, as I'm going to, because I'm going to get bits wrong. It's easier if the thing is stationary, whereas if it sort of moves around, you're chasing it with your soldering iron. So that's the stand. Since we last spoke, episode 1, the only thing that's changed with the actual control cabinet is I've punched the holes in for the stand, and also a little hole for the cables to go in and out of. Eventually I'm going to use a bit of conduit out of here, and I've got a really cheap piece of conduit to use, an old Hoover suction hose. So I've got a few of those kicking around, and they're about the right sort of diameter to get a good hunk of cables through. So let's put this together. Yep, spot on. Right, I'll just whip a spanner over those and tighten them down. Okay, let's work out where I want to put it. I reckon that's about right. Right sort of distance. Plenty of space for the PC. Hopefully the lid will come open without... Let's try that. There we go. Right, start with a smaller drill. Right, start these off with a woodworking drill with a brad point, because they don't skid around so much on this mill of mine. There we go. Okay, let's see how stable it is. Blimey. Don't think that's going anywhere in a hurry. Right, let's see if we can get this bit in. The lid. Keyboard. Right, next up is a screen. Right, there we go. First button added. There's the PC. I think we'll blow the dust out. I haven't been in here for probably 10 years, so that's not too bad really. Anyway, I'll just blow it out with an airline. I will just point out with this particular PC, there's this is worth doing if you want to use an older PC. I've got these a StarTech PEX1P. I think that's the product code. If it isn't, I'll put it up on screen. They're PCI Express cards that give you a printer port. So I've got 2 of them. So I've actually got 2 printer ports on this computer, not the one that you would normally have, which because of the way the SILE works, it needs 1 printer port for itself. So anything extra that I need to put in, I can't necessarily get into that to the port. So I added another board, and it's been like I had it for years. So I'm not even sure if these things are still available. Anyway, the second one means that I don't have to fiddle around with the drivers and any problems with the SILE. So Mark III will drive the SILE quite happily, and the extra port will is configured so that it appears as a separate port within the software. I have put in the bare essential of cables. Actually, I haven't. I've forgotten one. Let me just put the last one in. Let's just boot her up and see whether she works. This is going to be a bit tricky until I get all these switches remoted and stuff. That's looking promising. Hey, okay, so there we go. That's moving the table around. And the head. Looking good. I've just popped the an Arduino in here with a very simple bit of code. So I've loaded a program to run in the mill, and we're ready to go. So if I press cycle start here, it'll start, stop, rewind the code, go to 0. Right, I can run it from here as well. Just pushing this button will cause this to start running. There you go. Right, let me just stop that. This is flashing because it hasn't had a signal back, because it isn't wired in or programmed yet, from the computer to say that it's running. So it's flashing to say there's an error. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm going to go into more detail when I do the rest of it. So I'll put the other 2 buttons in and finish the code for this. Then I'll go over and tell you exactly how I did it and what it does. I've double-sided taped the little Arduino board. This is a plug-on. It's called a shield, which is just a circuit board that plugs on the top. That gives me screw connections. So the Arduino is a little circuit board underneath. I'll go into more detail about that in the next episode. But I've wired it up. So down here are the 3 switches. They're in. This is the stop switch, the emergency stop switch. I'm not going to wire that in till probably the very last thing, to be perfectly honest. I know. Don't hate me for it. Right, so that is it. So there we go. So pushing the green button should cause the program to start running. There we go. Okay, I think I'll call it a day with this video. I think it's probably a little bit shorter than the normal ones I do, but I think they're too long anyway. What I'll do is I'll wire up, or I'll program up the 3 buttons we've got here, and then I'll go into a bit more detail about how the Arduino communicates and what it does. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up and leave a comment if you've got something good to say. Cheers, take care, look after yourselves, bye bye.